But in simple terms, right, a brand is people's gut feeling. You understand what I mean by gut? What they feel inside about your brand. It's a perception. So you have no control over that. You only have control over what you do. So if you want to say rebrand, if Sam G wants to rebrand, right, he has to understand what people feel about his brand, especially his target audience, not other designers, not other agencies, right? Not whatever he does, right? He needs to. So since he's a creative and a web designer, he needs to understand if the perception. So first of all, why is he trying to rebrand, and is it necessary? Because there are rebrands that can cause you to lose customers, right? But it can also cause you to gain more customers or new customers. For example, there is a brand that wanted to enter new audiences, right? Maybe the Gen Z. So they have been in existence for a while, and so in order to adapt to the new market, they had to rebrand. So is that what he's doing? Is that his why? Then is that who he is trying to target? So who are his target audience? So he needs to define that. Then does his mission and vision align with whatever direction he's trying to go in right now? So that at the end of the day, people's gut feeling will not change, or if it changes, that is what he wants to achieve. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. So if he wants to conduct a rebrand, there is something we call brand strategy. So basically some of the things I listed now are part of the brand strategy process. So you have to redefine a lot of things, right? So what is wrong with your current logo? Does it need to change? Is it applicable to the current market? Do people is it receptive? Or apart from the audience, the platforms that is going to function on, the usage, is it industry standard in this current day and age, right? That is some of the questions you need to ask, right? So that is for the brand owner to do, and that is for you to ask as the brand designer or the brand identity designer. So you as the designer, your job is to ask some of all these questions, right? So hey, I want to rebrand. My name is Sam G, right? I want to rebrand. Okay, why do you want to rebrand? Okay, who are your target audience? Okay, what products do you sell? What is your services? How do you want to present your services? Right? Some of all those questions are important, right? So you can do this by asking through a questionnaire or having a discovery call, right? It's usually 20 to 30 minutes long, right? So if you can do that, then beautiful, right? So what you need to do after that process in order to actually make it a successful rebrand, right, is understanding what your job is, basically. So brand identity is not just creating visuals, it is solving a problem. You have to solve a problem. That is what you do. You are not just creating fine logos and fine this, fine color there, fine color there, right? You are solving a problem. So by asking all these questions, you identify the problems. And once you identify those problems, your job is already made easier. So like I always say, clarity is the mother of identity. If God wanted to make man in his own image, right, but he did not know what his image is, right, so let's just make man. But he was specific. Let's make man in our own image and likeness. So there is already clarity. He has defined it. So that's your process. You are defining what the direction is going to take. So once you ask all these questions, there's clarity, right? After that is also understanding the elements that are involved in brand identity, right? So some of the elements are logo, colors, typography, and the rest. We all know this basic knowledge, but it's not just knowing those things, it's knowing how to achieve those things. So like I said, you're not just slapping things together because it's fine, right? So the logo is the face of the brand. So it should be simple, memorable, and aligned with the brand's personality. You cannot create a gorilla logo that is scary for a children's brand. You can create that for a American football brand. It works because they are feisty. You get? So that is understanding it, right? That is understanding why it's the face of the brand. Color palettes. How colors evoke a certain emotion. You need to know that, so that when you find out that the client is a finance company, you know that blue automatically communicates trust, so you use blue. You cannot go and be using orange, red, right, in a way that, especially those two combinations, or orange and or red and white, right?
Okay.
Specifically, especially in today's current age, blue is very accurate in terms of communicating that. You can also now deviate. This is where understanding happens. So red can be used, but it's how you use it that matters. So understanding, okay, this is something, because before banks started using all those colors too, food brands were mostly the people using those colors. Chicken Republic, what's this one? Crunchies, Mr. Biggs, red, right? Orange is Crunchies. Which other brand? So red and white, where it evokes hunger. Now, somebody thought about it, right? Okay, this thing evokes hunger. Maybe people want to save their money or something, right? I don't know the thought process behind banks using it, but they've used it effectively so that people do not mistake them for a food brand. I don't know if that is clear. So it is in how it is used. The psychology, I don't know how that works, right? But the functionality is that if we combine orange and gray, because that's GT Bank's color, orange, gray, and black, it works, right? It works. And then white can be the accent color. Most people will never thought about white being an accent color. Most people thought about white being a major color, right? But it's an accent color, right? If you go through their app, everything, this blue, orange, gray, and then text are written in white and other colors. Sure, you get that disparity. So when I say accent color, it's like it's used sparingly. It's not used all over the place. The major colors are always orange and gray or black, right? So typography. MTN has a specific type that was created for MTN.
For MTN,
yeah. So, and that has become their identity. It's become part of their identity. Images. So you understanding imagery too. Photos and graphic choices and icons usually have to visually tell the brand story, right? You cannot be using happy images for a funeral brand. Right? Right? However, my lecturer says something. He says, in order to break rules, you have to understand the rules. In order to break them, they have to first of all break you. What do I mean? So you can use an happy image for a funeral home. It depends on how you use it.
How you use it.
What does it communicate? Where is it going to be used that will not damage the visual representation of the brand?
Exactly.
So does that make sense? Then the last thing you need to do is create a design system. And what that is a cohesive visual language that runs through all brand touch points. Right? So touch points include their communication, their visuals, their the way things are arranged, right? Color usage, all those things, right? Those are brand touch points, right? Anything that the brand will communicate or the brand logo will go on or whatever it is, those are touch points. Anywhere that the audience will interact with the brand, right? So that even includes, sometimes identity can go as deep as the front desk officer, how they speak, right? Yeah, because it's communication. Do you understand? So do you understand that brand is what? The gut feeling of a particular organization, of the audience, right? So if you had a bad experience with the clerk or the secretary at a particular, you already have a bad feeling about that brand. It does not matter how fine the visual is, bad feeling don't enter. So like I said, you are only doing an identity system. The brand has a lot of other layers, right? A lot of other layers that make it the brand. So there was something that went on Twitter recently. Somebody was asking about the Boku brand. The Boku has bad visuals, right? But they have good USP. They have a unique selling point that it does not matter how they look, people will buy. Why? That is their brand. Their brand is not visual. Their brand is on an emotional level to the Nigerian, to the suffering Nigerian. That's why people will line up for their bread. And the bread now is not just cheap. I've not bought it before, but I think they say one of their value proposition is cheap, and then it's also good. Sure, you get. Now the problem will now come if there is another competitor on the market
Exactly.
that has all their touch points, all their unique selling points, plus good visuals that appeals to the community in Nigeria, then we'll know how far. Sure you get. So that is what you need to understand about brand identity if you want to successfully conduct either a rebrand or just branding in general.